dreams, living my dreams, living my dreams, living my dreams, living my dreams. I had a dream last night. Did everything I never do in real life. I stepped into a room, told everyone to be quiet, cause I had something to say. Blew everybody away, wear whatever I want. Dressed in a gown, everybody's like, why are you going nowhere special?
Good day today. We got a new car yesterday. Still learning it. I've only had a short going it. It's the new Renault Scenic. Absolutely fantastic machine, I think, so far. And I've been a 6-year Tesla owner. So I'm going to do a full review on this. So please make sure you subscribe. And I'm going to compare it to the Tesla. So I'm going up to Perth in Scotland from Leeds. About 280, nearly 300 miles. Weather, as you can probably see, is absolutely horrendous. It's about 14 degrees, 13 degrees. It's raining. Probably get colder as we go north. And I'm going to put this to the range test. I'm hoping I can get to Perth on one charge, but I'm not sure. This car will do a real world 330 miles in reasonable conditions, but with this rain, it's not very warm. And also I'm going up in elevation. I'm not sure whether I'll actually make it, but the intention is to try and get the 283 miles up to Perth and then charge at the Tesla supercharger, which is open to all cars. So stay tuned. Watch how I do on this real life, real world UK range test. I'm going to put it on eco mode with full regen. I think that's probably the best thing to do. But as I say, I'm new to this car, whereas I knew my Tesla really well. I don't really know this car yet. Really nice. Fantastic infotainment system. It's working on Google. Phone holder. I'm going to do a full review. So please like and subscribe if you want to see my full review, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to compare it to my Tesla. So I'm going to try and keep it to sort of 4 miles per kilowatt hour if I can, and then I should get there because it's got 87 usable kilowatt hours as this car. So anyway, we're into the unknown with this. It's not like being with my Tesla where I knew exactly what I was doing. So here we are. Let's see, this says we won't make it. We'll only get there with 24% battery, minus 24% battery left. It's 275 miles in total. It's giving me 300 miles of range. But as I say, you can't take any of that into account at the moment because the car's brand new. It doesn't know my driving style. This should get pretty accurate, this Google system. And it may be accurate now. We've got a cold, very wet journey, which obviously saps range. Be a bit disappointed if I can't get 275 miles in it, but we'll see. We'll give it a go. I suspect we might get close and I might not have to charge at Gretna, but we'll see. So, first motorway journey in this car. I'm literally learning this car as we go along. You probably might not be able to see, but I really like that. There's a circular mark on the map, end of potential battery range. So that's really good. And I'm hoping it's moving already a little bit closer to Perth. So I'm hoping it gets me there.
There's a speed camera ahead.
Loads of sort of warnings on it. Apparently you can turn them off if you want. Speed camera warnings, which is great. I really like the fact you can have it set up. And I don't know what else is on here really yet, but you can have this set up so this shows the overall Google map of where you're going and everything, where you're crossing, going to the roadworks and things like that. And then you can have your north pointing or direction pointing navigation. Beautifully high definition screen here. I had a Tesla Model S and that's a much better screen than what was on the Tesla Binnacle. The cockpit is fantastic. It's currently self-driving. Wipers work really well, Tesla. It's very, very comfortable, really comfortable. It's very quiet. There's no rattles or squeaks. It seems beautifully built. So first impressions, and I'll know more after my 600-mile round trip journey. But first impressions are that it's very, very nice indeed. Just to give you a bit more background on this car, this is the base model, the Techno version. There's 2 more versions in this. The one up from this has basically some fancier trim and bigger wheels. That's really more or less it. A couple of £1,000 more. I don't think it's worth it because the seats in this are really nice. I really like the style of them. I think they're made out of recycled materials, so even though they look like cloth, in reality I think they're made out of sort of recycled plastic bottles, so they should be hard wearing, extremely comfy. Everything else is the same in the car. Even in its base form comes fully loaded. Also, the wheels on this are 19-inch rather than 20. Now, these look really good, I think, the wheels on this. But with that extra inch saving, you should probably get more, probably about 10 to 15, 20 miles extra range. It's also a bit comfier. So the wheels, so I wouldn't personally go for the next one up, which is called the Alpine. I'd stick with this one. One above that has the fancy roof, glass roof, which is really nice actually. And it has an upgraded stereo and it has upgraded cameras. The reverse camera on this is pretty crappy, to be honest, but it does the job, you can see. The one that's in the top spec has a 3D camera and a much higher resolution, and the stereo is better as well. Right, we've now just got onto the M6, so this is where, very close to where T-base services are, 62% left. In this sort of weather, I guess I'd probably be on about 45 on my Tesla, something like that, 40. But as I say, when I did it when it was much nicer weather, it makes a big difference. And I'll, again, put down below what my Tesla had left by the time we got to this point. Love the new Britain superchargers. So, we've done 144 miles by my calculation looking at Google Maps, because I'm not sure how to actually read how many miles we've done. I've got 54% left, so we've come, we've used 46% to get here. That means a range actually, based on this, of 313 miles, which I don't think is bad at all actually. It's really good. So it would have done 313 miles. This is telling me to charge to 88%. There's no way I need to do that. So this is a bit off. This could be a bit better, I think, in its estimation. So I'm really pleased with that. So now what we've got to do is just get this going with a non-Tesla, first time ever. Right, we've managed to get it charging. Just a little bit of a hassle because it wouldn't take my old Tesla credit card out to put it all in again, and then it wouldn't authorise it. So it's in the app now. I shouldn't have to do that again. Charging speed's a bit disappointing, to be honest. 67 kilowatts to save. I'm only on 56%. So charging curve on this car isn't as good as my Model 3 was. So that is a little bit disappointing. So you'll see this is awkwardly positioned as well for Tesla superchargers. Fortunately, these new ones have really long cables on, so it's fine. It will reach. But with the older ones, I'm not so sure. It's be a bit of a challenge getting it connected up, I think. It'd have been better on the other side in the UK, but then again, that's not against the pavement side where most people will charge. So, anyway, it's doing it. Let's go and get something to eat. Right, guys, so I had a bit of a fright. I was in Greggs. Just had a cheese and onion pasty and coffee. Sausage roll. And suddenly I got a message that the charging had stopped, and it said at the top here, lost connection with charger. Must be something dodgy about that one, because it wasn't working, and I tried and tried to do it again and it still wouldn't work. Very unusual for a Tesla supercharger. I thought, God, is it the car? But no, I've brought it over here sorry, I'm still getting used to this camera. There's a new camera as well. So I brought it over here and it's just started charging immediately. No problem. So that Tesla supercharger over on that far corner over there seems to be a bit dicky, surprisingly. Anyway, I'll sit in the car now and just make sure it doesn't switch off again, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't, because it was saying on here at the top on the app, lost connection to charger. So nothing to do with the car, it was saying it there. Anyway, let's stay in the car now and see how it goes. So we're nearly there. It's really slowed now. It's down to 28 kilowatts, but it is on 93, so that's probably what I've seen on the Tesla, to be fair, when you get to this high, maybe a bit less. So charging curve, I'd conclude, is average on this. Yeah, so it's 144 miles to home, so we had 56% left, so I was well over 300 miles. But so in terms of the distance that's been estimated on here, I think it'll hopefully learn my use a little bit better, because I could easily have actually made it. Easily. And also the kilowatts per hour, miles per kilowatt per hour on here must be also out, because that was saying 3.4 I'd averaged. Hey Google, what's 3.4 multiplied by 87?
4 by 87 is 295.8. So
the miles per per kilowatt an hour on there at 3.4 wasn't actually correct. It can't be, because I was probably on track to do about 320 miles, 310 miles. So even on this terrible day with this really bad weather, this car can do over 300 miles. It's actually quite nice now. Temperature's up to 16. It's unbelievable how it's improved. In fact, I don't know why I'm doing this. It's easy just to say it. Hey Google, navigate to the Premier Inn, Perth.
Navigating to Premier Inn, Perth City Centre Hotel.
So it's 134 miles, it's saying. So it's going to be late, and I don't want to get any charge tonight. I might get some charge in the morning. Right, so I'm hitting now 100% charge just about. Now this is telling me now, based presumably on my past driving the car, thinks I'll get 345 miles out of a charge, which is probably more like it, although that seems to go up and down. The Google's telling me I'll have 40% charge left when I've done the 134, which again seems to be pessimistic. Google seems to be really pessimistic. I could do with these being more accurate. Whether they'll get better as I use the car more, I'm not sure. Whether it'll be refined by Google, I'm not sure. But Tesla used to be a lot better than that.
To be sincere, feeling this way since top of the year. Lately we've been real unsure, unclear. Is it just me? Where do you go when you disappear? Tell me your secrets, you got my ear. Room to assume it's feeding my fears. Don't wanna leave, pull me in closer. Okay, so we've arrived in Perth. 52% left, and we did 132 miles, I think it was. So with the 52% left and the I think it was, did I say 56 on the first bit? So basically if I'd have done the whole thing in one go, I'd have done it with 8% left, I think that's right. Yeah, so 8% left. Oh god. So that puts it well over 300 miles. I guess it's about 280 miles here.
So over 300 miles. Now, interestingly, I set it at 65 on the motorway this time, and you'll see I've definitely got less efficiency. Now, that's including the fact that on the weather was much better on this part of the journey than last, although there was some really big hills to climb up. So I'd assessed the difference between getting between 60 and 65 on the motorway. It will cost you probably at least 10% over a total charge. So if you want to go for the real distance, stick it on 60, and then this car is way over 300 miles, way over. Right, we're here now at the Perth supercharger. Now, this is a real issue, that. I mean, luckily there's hardly anybody here and no Teslas. But with these bump stops, literally driving up to it, I couldn't get my car close enough. This guy over here has managed to get his car over the bump stop. But I couldn't do it, my car. I was really worried I was going to propel into one of the chargers. So I've had to park it sideways because a guy just arrived just before me and got that end one, otherwise I could have parked at that end. So I've taken up 2 spaces. So Tesla need to sort of remove these bump stops or do something, because they're stopping non-Teslas getting their charging. So that is a bit of an issue. Hopefully it will be resolved in future. I do wish Renault had put the charger closer to the front of the car, to be honest. I'll put it on the back corner, but hey. Anyway, we're charging, time to get some breakfast. Right guys, we're about to set off home. We have got 99%, and this is saying, well, it's telling me to charge, but it was saying I'd get there with 15% on the battery. It's 14 degrees at the moment. Nice, but unfortunately it's 4:30. I'm not going to get home until probably about 11 o'clock tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick it on 60, and I am going to see whether we can get there and not stop and charge. But again, I'm not quite sure whether I'll make it or not, but we'll see. It's saying that I am going to need charging, and it's giving me charging options. I think I might be able to do it, but problem is it's 4:30, it's 14 degrees, it's sunny, it's nice, it's not windy at all here in Perth, so fingers crossed we might be able to get back in one go. I am going to see if I can give it a go. If I remove the charging stop, it's saying I'll be minus 19%, so I think I'm not going to go above 60, and we'll see how it goes. If I find that I can't make it, then I'm just going to have to stop, unfortunately, on my way, but fingers crossed, we'll see if we can do it. So we're just stopping for a bit of dinner. Now, I think I've worked out something extra on this car now. I was looking at the wrong thing coming before. So this is what I was looking at before. Let me turn this round. So let's just get this focused on there. So you see that says, I don't know what this is showing me. It still says 3.4 miles per kilowatt an hour. It's saying I've got 237 miles left. This seems to be getting a bit more accurate now, maybe with the mileage left thing. Now, as I say, I don't know what that's supposedly showing me, because if I go into this, and if you know, please put in the comments. This says my energy consumption is 4 miles per kilowatt an hour. So, hey Google, multiply 4 by 87.
The answer is 348.
So that'd be a 348 mile capacity on the battery. Now I've had it set at 60 on the motorway, which is probably a bit lower than I'd usually go, but I really want to try and get back on one charge. You'll see it says I've done 107 miles. I've only averaged 42 because we've encountered some traffic jams, and I think that's 42 over the time period rather than distance. Not sure. I'm averaging 91 on Eco Score, which is pretty good. You're not going to get much better than that. But based on that, I should easily do it. Now, if you look, during that distance, I've travelled 108 miles nearly. I've got 166 left to go, and I've still got 68% of my battery. So I've still got more than a third of my battery. So that's, goodness, that'll be like 300 and what, probably 300, nearly 330 miles roughly. So another, which means for 2/3 left, I've easily got 330, well over 200 miles left. And it's saying I've got 166 miles to go. So if I carry on like this, I should easily do it, easily. And I am going to go for it, you know, on this journey back and see whether this car, you know, setting it at 60 on the motorway can get me from Perth down to Wakefield, nearly 300 miles. I think it will, and I'm pretty confident in that, which is why I'm going to go for it. Right guys, it's 10:39 at night and we made it back. So how did the car perform? Pretty good. I worked out probably it's best to look at this eco thing, even though that's not entirely accurate, as I'll now show you. Let me turn this around. This thing over here, let's just get this on here. So if you can see that's saying 3.4. I'm still not quite sure what that's meant to be showing. Maybe that's the average that the car's done to date. Miles per kilowatt an hour. So that's saying 3.4, which, hey Google, what is 3.4 multiplied by 87?
4 by 87 is 295.8.
So that would give us 295.8 miles, which would give us enough to get back, if that was our average. Now, this thing on here, you go into my driving, this shows 3.7. Now, that would be well into the 300s, so that's energy consumption 3.7, which I assume is the average. It was 3.7 when I pulled up as well for dinner. Now, this is showing I've done 278 miles today since 1621, which is when I set off from Perth. So 278 miles. This is weird. I mean, you see it just changed then. It seems to drop down even when the car's parked. It just seems to be on a time basis. It says 48.1. There's no way on earth I've only averaged 48.1 miles per hour. All the way back, but from dinner it was 60. I was on 60 set up the whole way. And even the first part of it, even though I encountered some traffic jams, I was on 60. So I'm not sure what this is meant to be showing me, but giving you something just dropped down, maybe it's just on, it's based on time. So the hour nearly I was waiting for my dinner, having my dinner, it seems to have maybe dropped down. I don't know, but look, it's dropping down again, you see. So that definitely isn't my average speed. All I did was put it on 60, and it was 60 virtually the whole journey. Now I assume this is accurate. That's my eco score. So you can see I scored 90 out of 100. My speed was only 4 because I had it on 60 the whole time, so 90 out of 100. You're not going to get much better on the motorway drive. Really, I'd have liked to go at 65, but I don't know if I'd have made it. So 278 miles, and I've got 10% battery left. Let's just show you that. So 10% battery left there. So that's another 27 miles. So in this condition, these weather conditions, it's 10 degrees now, but actually at some points it dropped down to 8. When I set off it was 14. It's been not windy, there's no wind at all, which is a positive. This route though is very, very hilly, down from Scotland, very hilly. I did actually set off with 1% less as well, but, you know, 307, another 1%, another 4 miles, so 310 miles. So amazing performance, really. You know, it's been fairly good conditions, but then again, it's not summer at 18 degrees, 20 degrees, where this car would, I'm sure, do even better. So very hilly, as I said, so I'm really pleased with that. My old Tesla rear-wheel drive, even though that was amazingly efficient, more efficient than this car, it couldn't in no way in these conditions have done that. It would have done, this would get 310 miles, that would probably get about 240. So, you know, you're talking probably another 60, 70 miles out of this car compared to the Tesla in those conditions. So maybe they got 250, so 60 miles difference. So yeah, delighted with the car. The car is awesome. It's got some things which aren't as good as the Tesla, but overall. But please, if you want to see more on this car, I'm going to do a full review. I'm going to do a proper comparison to the Tesla, and I'm going to be doing, as we go into winter, some cold weather, real cold weather tests as well. So to make sure you see those, please like and subscribe. Make sure you click that bell so you get a notification when I do these further videos on the Renault Scenic, and I hope you've enjoyed it and it's been useful to you. Cheers, bye.